Welcome back to Media 7. We're discussing Sensing Murder, Phenomenon or Fraud, with producer David Baldock, journalist Carol Duchateau and skeptic Jeremy Wells. The show's producers are acutely aware of their critics and consequently make a range of warranties for their work, most of which we, as viewers, are asked to take on trust.
The psychics have not been given any details of the case or the people involved. They do not know the location of the case in advance and are only told their destination at the airport. Each psychic is filmed in one day. They are kept under constant supervision to prevent them researching the case. Only correct statements are confirmed during the readings.
Did they find out from the paper? Oh my God.
While tuning in to Agnes's family background, both psychics picked up on highly sensitive material that, for legal reasons and out of respect to the surviving family members, we have chosen not to broadcast.
It's interesting. I wonder in foster care if she had someone that she used to call.
It's a Simona. It's not a or something like that.
Now, David, as I said, we're expected to take all those warranties on trust. Your critics, and they are legion, as I said, have done a 26-page analysis of the Margaret Walker episode, which is the one that Nigel Latta was featured on. They claim that they've actually busted you on one thing, the filmed in one day thing. And that you have confessed that it was not all filmed in one day.
I haven't done that.
So you're saying that because they have pointed it out, they've pointed out that shots at the pub, she drives along, she says that's where it happened. There are two shots at the pub, one has bins in front of it, one doesn't. They appear to be different days. Are you telling me it was the same day?
All the filming we do with the psychics is in one day.
So you do a little magic of television afterwards and come back past and film the place again?
We'll do some pick-up shots that don't involve the psychics, but any of the work and the reading with the psychics we do in one day. I mean, I think you need to come back to the fundamental issue that you brought up right at the very front of the show. It either is a phenomenon that we have no real understanding of what's going on, or it's a fraud. Now, if you consider it's a fraud, then you might as well stop the show now because you're questioning my credibility and my integrity
this is
and
my
the integrity
problem.
of the show.
And all I can say to you,
no, don't, because it will cost you a lot of money. Because all I can tell you is that from our perspective, everything that we say that we do on that show is what we do.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's questioning your integrity. I'm certainly not. And I believe that you're doing everything right. I don't doubt that for a second. I'm questioning the integrity of the psychics. They've got it over you. They've fooled you. Like they've fooled a lot of other people out there in New Zealand, like they do every single day of their lives.
Well,
they
Jeremy,
are paid to fool people.
We've now done 20 cases.
If you let me finish, the amazing thing is that you have done for psychics, possibly indirectly, the same thing as David Attenborough has done for animals.
Carol, if we could bring you in here, you were involved in the show that screened last week. Did you take the Nigel Latta role? Did you see anything of the production, or did you turn up and be interviewed for it?
No, I turned up. Mine was done, I think, before the psychics came on board. So when I just saw the finished show, it was a surprise to me. And they did seem to find out quite a lot. And to give them their credit, there wasn't much. There was very little in the papers or anywhere, except in that one Metro article, which didn't go online and is quite hard to find.
Well, one thing we discovered from the police when we checked with them doing our research for the show is that they quite like your show because almost all of these cases don't come to court, and it's an opportunity for them to get what could be evidence in court on cold cases out in the public sphere, and perhaps it'll jog someone's memory. Do you think is that why the show works?
Well, of course it has. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the police to be able to, in some way, find evidence that they can take perpetrators to court. Now, we've had situations where people have come and talked to us. We've had a family member who has confessed to us on camera that they know that their family member was involved with one of the crimes. We said to them, why don't you go and tell the police this? No, I'd rather talk to you. I don't want to talk to the police. We say, we're going to be handing all this information to the police. Yeah, that's okay, but I'd rather talk to you. Now, the police have openly admitted to us that in a lot of cases, people are prepared to talk to others rather than to them, but whatever it takes, it gets information they can then work on. Sure. On that particular case...
Can I just ask Carol a question? Carol, do you think there was anything came out of that show that was not known to someone? I mean, you got a name, but this is someone who is in prison for 15 years for sexual assault. Yeah. Would be a reasonable guess, and has the right kind of surname. Was there anything came out of it that no one knew?
Don't think so. No, I think I think we knew that.
A key to the viewer appeal of Sensing Murder is the style of its production, its reconstructions, which set an emotional context, and its sharp editing, which its critics say make the real context of anything the psychics say impossible to assess. Here are some examples.
She's beautiful. She's tall, she had a beautiful figure, had a lovely smile. Yeah, she's a really beautiful girl.
I miss you so much, checking up on me with my body just in case I get sick or maybe pregnant. I forgive you for what you've done to me. I wish someone could just help me with my life.
Come on, you're not as innocent
You're
as
not as innocent as you make out. That's what he's saying to her. And she said, no, don't. Leave me alone. Because she's running. I can see her running.
Feels like she's running away or trying to get away.
Now, David, one thing that really jumped out at me about the reconstructions is that in the second half of the show, you have reconstructions echoing not just known facts, but also the intuitions of your psychics, to the extent that the viewer might be confused about which is which. Is that not a flaw in the show?
Well, no, I think we're very clear in the show that where we have represented the known facts of what has happened, and we are then presenting the psychics' readings and representing their version of what has happened. We're very clear about that in the show.
Jeremy, you thought the reconstructions were over the top in the shows you saw, didn't you?
To be honest, I enjoy the reconstructions and I think they're nicely done. And I take my hat off to you, David. I think the show's nicely made, and I think that has to be said. But for me, the show's in two parts. The documentary part, I think, is the first part, which is the interesting bit, which is where the stories are told. And I agree, it's fantastic if there is some information that comes about from that. Then there's the completely farcical part, which is when those charlatans turn up, get paid to say, well, are they getting paid, by the way? Do they get paid? Sure. Okay, so they get paid. Do the victims get paid? Do the families?
No, we're a documentary show. We don't.
So they don't get paid. So the only, but the actors who do the reconstructions get paid. So the only people not being paid in the show? Yes, totally.
Yeah, good.
But the only people not being, because I'm a performer, the only person that's not getting paid is the victim. They're being exploited. They're the ones that should be paid, David.
We actually have to go to a break now, but I will give you a chance to answer that when we come back. When we'll wrap up the discussion, I'm not sensing a resolution, and also consider the ethics of sensing murder.